So if you're setting up Zoom for the first time to send out to your students via Google Classroom, you might be wondering about how that can happen and about how to make it so that you be able to use the link constantly. So there is an option for that to take place. So you go into your Zoom account, and if it has not been upgraded, there is Kyle Nemus did a video that explains this part about what you need to do. But when you click on your account, you should be able to see when you click on your icon that it will say licensed. If it doesn't say licensed, then that means that you need to reach out to Sharon Johnson and she'll make sure that you are put into the license group. So you go to Zoom, and probably the fastest way would be for you to click on My Account and then click on Meetings. And here you're going to schedule a meeting. Click on Schedule a Meeting. And there's a little bit of a debate within myself as to whether or not it makes sense to create a particular link for each individual block that you meet with students. That could work, or you could create a link that would be like your room, like in other words, that any student would be able to enter into the room from all your classes, and you wouldn't have to juggle the links. I think it's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other on that particular issue. But you create a room. I'm going to call mine Mr. Lifland's class, because I think I will be doing one link for all of my students, but you could call yours 1A in the name of the course. And you don't need to put any description in here. You're going to start the meeting, and you'll see where this will actually not be an issue anymore. The meeting will be, make it an hour and a half, even though you're not going to meet for that long. I think this part is really not that important as it might feel, like, because you have to put all the information in here. You're going to make this a recurring meeting with no fixed time. So you don't need to put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You just give it no fixed time. And this becomes a link that when you share out can be used from now until whenever, till the end of the school year. You can potentially use it next year or some other way. So now you've created the meeting, and it's not set to a particular time, which is, probably the easiest way to deal with things. You might want to mute participants upon entry. You don't necessarily want to do breakout room pre-assigned. That might be nice if you were already going to create a link for each individual class and you had groups that you were always going to meet with. And then it might be a good idea to pick someone who could become a co-host, especially if you're a team teaching. It would make it so that they could actually join the meeting and host the meeting themselves as well. So you can do that. If you're co-teaching, you would just put another person's name in there. I'm not going to, maybe I'll put Nicole in because, leave it alone. I won't bother her. Maybe put your supervisor if you had to, if you felt like at some point you might be absent, may not be able to host the meeting, and then your supervisor can quickly go on. That might be an option, but I think that's good. So I don't want to enable join before host. You definitely don't want to do that. Hit save, and now you've got this link. If you click on this link, I always do that. Click on this link, copy it. Then you're going to go into Google Classroom, and you're going to, now you could do it as a stream. And if you do it as a stream, you would say, here is the link for all of our class meetings. And then you just click on add, click on the link, click on paste, add link, and then you would post. You can actually pin certain things up to the top. If you do that, like I'm not going to post this because I'm not sure how I'm going to do my meetings, if that will be the meeting link that I'll use. But if you, after you post it and you assign it to all the classes that you want to, it could just be this class or multiple classes if it's going to be the same link for all classes. You'll have to go into every individual class, but you can move it to the top. So that way, whenever they go to the stream, they'll always see it there. Another place that you can put this link that would make sense would be in the classwork. And you could create an assignment or create a material, probably materials, but I would do a link for class meetings. And then you put the link in here, hit paste, hit add link, and then you would maybe create a topic, call it Zoom link. And that way the students can easily find it when they're in the other part of the program as well. So that's just a quick way to create a meeting, so that way the students have it immediately. You can do it where you create an individual class link for each individual block, or you could share the link and make the link the same link for everyone. The only thing that I feel as if it might be better to do one class, one link for everything, is that it'll just be a little more streamlined, and then when you're moving from one block to the next block, it might be easier. But you also run the risk of students in your class that maybe you didn't want to have, like from another class, like from a later time, being able to get into that class. So they could, you can see who's in there and who's not, and kick them out. But it might be hard in the very beginning to know who's your student and who's not your student. So I'm sort of talking myself out of the idea of one link for all of my classes and doing just